Hello, Bengal fans, and thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Bengals in Paradise. I am Chasten Scott. Now, before we start the video, I just want to ask the viewers if you can give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, today's video that I'm making today, I generally want to go more in depth with the possible free agent targets that the Bengals could be looking at come March. Last video I made somewhat of a free agent target list that I think Bengals could pursue, but today I'm gonna go dive a little deeper and tell you guys why I think they would fit and their PFF grades and all that and much more. So today I'll break down the possible free agents that I think would be a good fit for the team, and for me personally is the guys that I would want for your Cincinnati Bengals. So today I'm going to start first with the defense, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 different positions. I'm going to be going over the guards, the defensive ends, and the defensive tackles. That's where I feel where Bengals are going to be targeting in free agency, and the other positions is most likely going to be the draft. But for now, these 3 positions I feel are the biggest needs for this team. So I'm going to break down the free agents that I would love the Bengals to sign. So I'm going to start off with the defensive ends. For me, the first target that I hope Bengals could be looking at is edge rusher Baron Browning. He was with the Broncos but got traded mid-season this year to the Arizona Cardinals, and there's a lot left to be desired with the stopping the run and all that. He kind of graded poorly, but when it comes to just attacking the quarterback, rushing the passer, this guy is an absolute animal. I would love to have Baron Browning alongside Trey Hendrickson. He graded out as a 76.3 on PFF, basically ranking him the 23rd best edge rusher when it comes to the pass rushing grade. And with the run grade, it was really low, somewhere between 43, 44. But again, we need pass rush. Stopping the run is important, don't get me wrong, but I feel Bengals' Achilles was always rushing the passer and getting home. That's why the secondary would struggle a lot these past couple of seasons, because we wasn't getting home to the quarterback, and it gave a lot more time for the quarterback to read the field, which made it harder for the secondary. So I feel as long as you have a pass rush that is dominant and can get to the quarterback, it'll make the secondary's life much easier. So why not attack with signing players that can hit home and get to the quarterback quick? And Baron Browning is one of those guys. And today I'm not also targeting players that would fit, but also players that I know Bengals like. They generally like to go after players that are coming after their first contract, players that are young, that they know they can develop even more and get them young so they can play better. So I feel with these players that I'm listing today on today's video, it's like a perfect match. So with Baron Browning, he's only 26 years old, and I feel like he would be an absolute great steal, because he's someone that I think would not break the bank. You can kind of get him on a 1-2 year kind of prove it deal, because whatever team he was on, he always flashed potential, but he was never consistent and never provided the stats that would get this man paid. So if you can bring this guy in on a prove it type deal, sky's the limit for Baron Browning. So he's first on my list. The other edge rusher that I want to mention today was actually someone that Bengals were interested in trading for this season, and that was Azeez Ojulari, Giants edge rusher. He was out for the remaining of the year, I believe, kind of midway, a little bit after that this season. But he's someone that I've been eyeing too, not only because he gets home, and when Giants and Bengals played, he had a great night. He had 2 sacks on Joe, and when you watch the film, he could have had more, but Joe was just being Joe, and he was being elusive, and he made Aziz miss a couple of sacks. But that being said, Aziz Ojulari is someone that he has so much untapped potential, and he's only 24 years old, and he's coming off of his first contract, and I feel it'll be a perfect match. That's why I feel Bengals was interested for trading for him mid-season. It didn't work out, probably because Giants was asking for a lot more than Bengals expected. But I feel Aziz can, especially with the right coach, and I feel with the hiring of Jerry Montgomery, he can possibly bring out the best in Aziz Ojulari and wake up a beast. Because, like I said, it's like with Baron Browning. With Aziz, you see the flashes of dominance. You see it, but again, it's not consistent. So he's another guy that I feel you could possibly get on a cheaper side. It won't be cheap, but you can get him on a cheaper side rather than spending like 15 to 20 million annually. For Aziz, I feel like you could possibly get him from anywhere to 8 to 12 million annually, and I'm just spitballing here, but that would be a steal with Aziz. And again, only 24 years old, still very young. And with those two edge rushers that I named, either one would be a perfect fit for this Bengals defense, working alongside Trey. And another edge rusher, he's the last one on my list when it comes to the edge position. He's kind of flying under the radar because he was out for the entire year, and that's Raiders edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz. Last year in 2023, he was extremely dominant, and he made Max Crosby's life much easier because he was wrecking the game alongside of him, and his PFF grades was extraordinary. I believe he had an 83 point something kind of grade at the ending towards the season, which was basically the 15th ranked edge rusher in the entire league, and that's just impressive. And I feel like if Malcolm stayed healthy this year and played, he would have got paid big time this year, but it didn't work out. He got hurt, I believe, right before the season started, and he was out for the remaining year, and it was a tough blow. But I feel that you could also get Malcolm Kuntz on a prove-it type deal, someone that won't break the bank, but has plenty of potential, and still very young, coming off his first contract. I believe he's 26, 27 years old. So if you can get him on a prove-it type deal, it'll be another steal in this offseason. So those three guys that I mentioned, when it comes to the edge rushers, I feel would be perfect fit for the Cincinnati Bengals. So again, Baron Browning, Aziz Ojulari, and Malcolm Kuntz. Those three guys I will be particularly looking at when it comes to the edge position. Now moving along inside to the interior, I have a couple of names out there. And first one, again, these are guys that I'm looking at that are coming off their first contracts, that are extremely young. That's what interests the Bengals. And this one is kind of like a pipe dream. I believe he's gonna get paid, and I don't know if Bengals will be willing to spend, the bag to get him, but we'll see. Time will tell. But I believe he's gonna get paid a lot this offseason, and if Bengals was to pull the trigger and somehow pay this man all that guaranteed money, that'd be awesome. That'd be incredible. And the player that I'm talking about is Eagles 3-tech Milton Williams. Milton is a dominant beast in the interior of the line. He had a pass rushing grade of 90.4 this season, which basically ranks him as the second best when it comes to the pass rush in the interior, and that's elite. That's elite grading. And he had an overall grade of 70.1, which is 30th, 31st in the entire league. But that's nothing to roll your eyes. I'm strictly looking at the pass rushing grade, and that's what Bengals desperately need. I feel like for the longest of times, ever since Geno Atkins left and retired, we've been looking for that dominant 3-tech, and we just haven't found the answers. We had good role players, we had good players, but we didn't have that dominant force that we're all used to seeing when it came to Geno back in the day. And I miss that. We need a 3-tech that can literally disrupt the quarterback, and look no further than Milton Williams. Like I said, he has a pass rushing grade of 90.4. It's incredible. He will be first on my list when it comes to the defensive tackles, and like I said, he's probably going to break the bank, and I totally agree with that. He deserves to be getting paid. So if it is the Bengals that are the team that wants to pay him, that would be truly amazing. Moving along to my second target in the defensive tackle free agent class is no other than Osa Arizua. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but if you guys follow me on Twitter, I always bring Osa's name up in a player that I would generally want. He's probably gonna break the bank as well, but not the type of money that Milton Williams is probably gonna be projected to get. But he's gonna get paid as well. But he is the guy that I feel that Bengals would pursue, not just because of him being only 26, turn 27 this next season, but I feel like Bengals know what they're lacking in, which is the pass rush, and I feel like Osa would be the one to solve their problems and won't command like the top dollar, but he will be getting paid. And he had a pass rushing grade of 78.5, which basically was extremely dominant, and he had an overall grade of 68.1. And like I said, he was the 11th best pass rusher in the league and 38th overall. So again, with Osa, I love that guy. He would fit the bill. He would be what the Bengals are looking for when it comes to interior pass rush, and with him, he's second on my list when it comes to defensive tackles. So Milton Williams and Osa. And the last guy that I'll be talking about when it comes to the interior is a nose tackle, believe it or not. I feel McKinley Jackson is fine. He's a fine nose tackle, but I feel like we need more depth when it comes to the interior room. Like right now, with BJ Hill probably just gonna let him walk and cutting Sheldon Rankins, they're basically only gonna have Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson on the roster. So I feel that Bengals could possibly pursue a nose tackle and a 3-tech this offseason. Who knows? But if they do decide to go that route of adding a nose tackle, look no further than to Rams nose tackle Bobby Brown. Now, this is probably a name that Bengal fans aren't too familiar with because he's a nose tackle. They don't do the sacks. They're not exciting, but they're dirty. They do the dirty work, and that's what you need when it comes to stopping the run. So when it comes to pass rush, there's a lot left to be desired with Bobby Brown, but when it comes to just purely stopping the run, he did an incredible job. His pass rushing grade was a 67, not pass rush, I'm sorry, the stopping the run, his grade was 67.7, which was 27th in the league, which is incredible. And his overall grade was a 63.3. So he is a nose tackle that is coming off his first contract. I believe he's only 24 years old as well, super young with plenty of untapped potential. But I feel like if you could bring him in, that would be a solid nose tackle rotation with Bobby Brown and McKinley Jackson to stop the run. That would be a hell of a duel to me personally. And Bobby Brown is someone that won't break the bank. He'll probably be, I would like to say, just spitballing again, but probably between 6 to 9 million annually, and there's no reason why Bengals shouldn't pay for that. So I feel like if they are trying to target a nose tackle, Bobby Brown would be the perfect fit in my eyes for this Bengals defense. And next, I'm going to move along to the offensive side of the ball, and I'm going to be talking about guards. Now, basically, there's like 4 guards that are on my free agent target list, but today I'm only going to be talking about 2, and that's TEVEN Jenkins from the Chicago Bears and Will Freeze, I don't know how you say his last name, Will French Fries for all I care, but that guy is a baller. So today I'll be talking about those 2 guys in particular because they're my favorite targets going into the free agency. So let's start with TEVEN Jenkins from Chicago. He too is coming off his first contract, only 27 years old. The only thing that kind of nicks him, and I see a lot of Bengal fans as well that are generally interested in but also question, is his injury history. He missed a lot of games throughout his career, but when he's healthy, he shows that he can truly be like a top 10 guard in this league, and he's a mauler. And sorry if you guys are still kind of triggered by the name Frank Pollock, but TEVEN Jenkins is the definition of a glass eater. He is nasty. He will get it, and he does like that dirty work. And TEVEN Jenkins would just uplift this offensive line room, and he would bring that nasty to that position, which basically Bengals have been lacking for the longest time. And I feel like TEVEN Jenkins fits that bill. He fits that mold. He'll be a perfect fit to me in that Bengals offensive line. He would just slide right into the left guard, and him and Orlando would be like magic watching, honestly. He had a pass rush grade of 75.8, which is basically 15th in the National Football League, and he had an overall grade of 75.4. So just overall grading, just when it comes to the pass block, the run block, and just the overall grade, TEVEN Jenkins is just solid down the line. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would love TEVEN Jenkins, and Trey Smith would also be awesome as well. But I feel like with Trey Smith, he's a better run blocker than a pass blocker. And with the way how Joe Burrow and this offense functions is basically pass first, I feel Trey Smith technically wouldn't really fit the scheme. And besides that, Trey Smith is gonna command like top dollar. He's gonna probably reset the guard market, and we all know, Bengal fans, that they do not pay guards for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, you figure they would learn, but they haven't. Hopefully they did this year, so time will find out. But with TEVEN Jenkins, I feel you can get him with not the top dollar market, but he is someone that would be expensive. Don't get me wrong. He's probably going to cost anywhere from between 10 to 13 mil annually. But I'm telling you, if TEVEN Jenkins just has a clean slate, wipes the injuries off, he has the talent to becoming one of the best guards in the league, and I feel he'll be a perfect fit for this Bengals offense. And last but not least, when it comes to my free agent target, is Colts guard Will Freeze. He is someone that was on my radar kind of last minute. I didn't really know who he was, but when I seen the PFF grades and when I was looking at targets and someone who was young, someone who was just dominant, his name came up, and I was truly impressed with what I saw from Will Freeze. This guy is a hell of a lineman. He plays right guard for the Colts, and like I said, if Kappa is probably going to get cut, not probably, he is going to get cut, we need someone to replace him. look no further than to Will Freeze. He's someone like Teven Jenkins, who's a glass eater, nasty. Sorry, I used the term again, glass eater, but that's what he is. And he's someone that would fill in Capo's spot, and he would be an upgrade. And I'm not sugarcoating, he would be an upgrade in that spot. And he's someone too that I feel would be around the same ballpark when it comes to annually wise with like Teven Jenkins. He's probably getting paid roughly 10 to 13 million annually. And again, it's just me speculating. I don't know the actual numbers or the projections, but I feel that it'll probably be somewhere in that ballpark. But when it comes to Will Freeze, he's another guy that's just dominant and just overall just a great lineman. He really had a breakout year this year. His overall grade was at 86.9, which basically ranked the 4th best lineman in the entire league. 4th best. And pass block 74.9 and a running block grade of 84.9. So this guy's numbers is just through the roof. He's someone that I would truly target if I was the Bengals, and I hope the Bengals can target him. If not him, Teven Jenkins. But those two guys are the main ones that I'm basically looking at when it comes to the interior O-line. I have other targets like Aaron Banks from Niners and Dalton Risner from the Vikings, but they're like a tier below for me personally. So that's why today I just broke down Teven Jenkins and Will Freeze, because those are two guys that I would hope the Bengals can get one of them. And with that, if they were to sign one of them, I could see the Bengals re-signing Cody Ford to start on the opposite side of the guard spot for the time being. And then I could also see Bengals drafting another guard to compete with Cody Ford. So basically you could see like a lineup of Orlando Brown, left tackle, Teven Jenkins at left guard, Ted Karras at center, Cody Ford and a rookie battling for that right guard spot, and Amarius Mims at right tackle. That's fire in my eyes, basically. That's a hell of a lineman. That'll be the best lineman that Joe has ever had in his career. Or if you sign Will Freeze, you can look at it as Orlando at left tackle, Cody Ford and a rookie battling for the left guard spot, Ted Karras at center, Will Freeze at right guard, and Amarius at right tackle. And either way, with Teven or Will, that line that I just mentioned, that would by far be the best line on paper that Joe has ever had. And if he has that lineman, I'm trying to speak into existence, but if he has that lineman that I just mentioned, like, sky's the limit for this offense. We know what this offense is capable of. They're elite. But can you imagine if Joe has time to like fully see the field and fully have time to, pick his spots? It'd probably be the best offense in the NFL, and I'm not exaggerating. They're already a top 5 offense in the league, so imagine Joe with a good offensive line. Sky's the limit. So I hope we can snag one of those two with the lineman, the O-lineman, and I hope we can sign one of the edge rushers that I just mentioned in the beginning of the video, and one of the defensive tackles that I just mentioned a while ago. So if we can target these guys in free agency, I truly believe this will be a home run and be one of the best free agency signings that the Bengals has had. But hopefully they see eye to eye with me. I feel like these guys are somewhat like Bengal targets. I've been looking at players that are young, like I said, coming out their first contract, and just they're really good. And I feel like that's who Bengals kind of target. They kind of target those young ascending players, and these guys that I mentioned in this video are examples of that. So that's all I have when it comes to free agent targets. Bengal fans, if you have any free agent targets that you guys hope the Bengals could be possibly looking at, please comment down below and tell me which targets do you hope Bengals can try to sign this offseason. And and I'll get to you guys comments later on, and hopefully you guys can do so with that. So please comment down and tell me who you guys want the Bengals to sign. That'll be it, and thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Bengals in Paradise, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hooday!